So, hallo, herzlich willkommen zurück zu Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Ich muss kurz meinen Stuhl zurechtrücken und jetzt kann es losgehen. Neue Aufnahme, neues Glück. Und ja, wie wir in der letzten Folge mitgekriegt haben, Sakura ist tot. Wir wissen nicht warum, wir wissen nicht wer es war. Vielleicht habt ihr schon Vermutungen. Ich sag mal so, ich weiß es natürlich, es ist ja für mich kein Blind Let's Play. Aber das ist bei einer Visual Novel auch relativ egal. Also, jetzt geht es darum, dass sie Nachrichten an Leute geschickt hat, um sich mit ihnen zu unterhalten, nachdem halt rausgekommen ist, dass sie Spion für Monokuma war und sowas. Und ja, diese Nachrichten gingen an Byakuya, an Toko und an Yasuhiro. Da ist jetzt die Frage, was können uns die noch dazu sagen? Weil Yasuhiro und Toko sind schon mal wieder in ihren Zimmern, so wie es aussieht. Man muss auch die richtigen Zimmer finden. Hier haben wir Toko. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
Who's there?
The most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Oh? What do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Oh, mir fällt gerade auf, ich hätte mir auch eine Stoppuhr stellen sollen, damit ich weiß, wie lange die Folge schon geht. Das war gerade... Mache ich noch schnell. Aber weiter im Text.
I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
What do you want? You said you wanted to talk to me about something. I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura has asked to meet with you.
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said too, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit it. No, I admit, I did get the note. But I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Tokos account. So, fehlt noch Mr. Afro. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. How did you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that? Oh, well... When she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura?
You got it all wrong!
No way, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually,
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me!
I haven't seen her since then. Moment mal, die hat dir doch erst danach den Umschlag gegeben. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Oh well, do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on!
Sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big, goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh?
What?
Ah! Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on!
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Pocket Trash. Ja, gab's da nicht diese Bonbons? Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor in the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Ich würde sagen, auf dem Weg liegt erstmal der Rec Room. Aber ja, diese Bonbons, die fand doch Hina so klasse und Sakura hatte die quasi gebunkert, glaube ich. Ich weiß nicht mehr ganz genau. Augenscheinlich ist da irgendeines von auch bei Yasuhiro gelandet. Und dass man immer so an den Wänden abglitscht, das ist halt so ein bisschen... Die Wände sind mit Öl beschmiert, keine Ahnung. Hier war's. Oder warte mal, Rec Room war eine Etage höher. Glaube ich. Yep, hier. Schauen wir uns das nochmal an.
Hey.
So Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me.
I see.
I see. So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway.
Well, I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the monokuma bottles. These three things have revealed new clues. You'd do well to look at them over one more time. So erstmal shards of glass. Yeah. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. On top of that, near the glass, it's a monokuma figure that fits in the palm of my hand. I think Kyoko said she found a new clue involving the monokuma bottles. Something new, something new.
Hey.
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. Ja, die alle haben Schachfiguren. A correlation. Hey Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
So...
I don't mind guiding you toward clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer? I do trust you to a degree. Otherwise I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree. Monokuma bottle.
Hey.
Actually, there's one other thing about the monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment?
Anyway...
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
That doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya is not here, so...
So then,
Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is about, but what choice do I have? I'd better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
so then,
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So what kind of experiment are we doing?
in other words,
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Compare the weights of what? The pieces of glass you collected and one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
listen.
First, let's compare the weights of 2 of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced,
In other words,
which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same and nothing else could really affect the weight.
so then,
Now here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now what might we expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
so then,
Okay, then let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought. What?
In other words,
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it all together.
hey,
And I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So what do you think? It's all on you. Ja. Wenn wir uns nämlich diese Flaschen nochmal genauer ansehen. Wie viele verschiedene Figuren gibt es beim Schach? Es gibt Bauern, Türme, Springer, Läufer, dann Dame und König. Das sind 6 verschiedene. Wir sehen 5 und wir sehen beziehungsweise 4 und eine, die am Boden liegt oder gelegen hat in den Scherben. Interessant, oder? Es fehlt was. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident?
hey,
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is... One of the pages near the center of the magazine, a word had been written in bold, bloody letters. It said, Toko. Could this be a dying message?
correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this...
So,
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message.
however,
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that... That says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it.
What the heck?
Then she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
I will forgive you.
It's settled. She's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. Ja. Hatte ich irgendwas vergessen?
in other words,
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles, put it all together. And I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion.
hey,
So what do you think? It's all on you. Yeah. experiment showed that the pieces of glass on the floor were heavier than an intact monochroma bottle. Ja, es fehlt die Dame. And the bottles all have something in common. There's apparently an important secret hidden there. Ansonsten gibt's hier, glaube ich, nichts weiter. Is this the only way out of the Rec Room? Ja. Das hatten wir schon mal. So, wir müssen auch noch ins Chem Lab. Das Chem Lab ist weit oben und der Weg ist da. Ja, rechts. Mein Orientierungssinn ist mal wieder on point. So, Chem Lab ist einfach nur geradeaus und rechts. So, hier finden wir doch sicher was Interessantes. Och, was haben wir denn da? Makoto, did you have your eye on the Chem Lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, I got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes sir, I understand. Erstmal, was haben wir denn hier? This isn't my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. It looks like like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step on it. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. I'd better not leave a footprint. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? It looks like a bottle and had a label. It looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled.
So in other words...
That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that really is when it happened, it must be related to the case somehow. Source of the powder. Ja. Und hier haben wir Spuren. These are footprints. And they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor path. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
What?
Well, let's go, chop chop. Okay. So I got to work, and before long I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me?
I see.
So when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to do, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly
Makoto,
possible.
are they yours? No.
What?
Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Unfortunately? But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. Then these prints are a really valuable clue. I should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. There's also the remains of a broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labeled Chem 4. Also, it looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left side of the shelf. According to Byakuya, the powder would have to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. Footprints in the powder. Ja. Schauen wir uns doch mal die Regale an. Let's see, what's on this shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section A. But wait. There's one bottle that's labeled Chem C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? So on this shelf is... It looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kinda harsh?
What?
What, do you think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world? Da muss ich mal recht geben. Es ist definitiv nützlicher, als man denkt.
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter B and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. On this shelf is... One look and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section C. I should try to find out more about this shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on there. ChemLab shelf has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. I've already taken a good look at the ChemLab. Maybe I should take another look around the rec room. Wir könnten uns noch fragen, hat er noch was anderes zu sagen?
I see.
Makoto, I admit you have a good eye for spotting useful clues. But you also need to learn how to make use of those clues. Okay, erstmal zurück zum Rec Room. Get wrecked und so. Nee, nicht wirklich. Das machen wir noch in der Folge, weil ich glaube, da sind dann auch die letzten Hinweise bei. Ja, Moment, da lang. Ach, verdammt. Diese Gänge sehen auch immer bis auf die Farbe so gleich aus. So. Kann mir Ihnen vielleicht noch was sagen? Took was the killer, I'm sure of it. That magazine proves it. We've got the killer cornered. Vielleicht können wir uns die Leiche nochmal genauer ansehen. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body. Ah, das hatten wir uns noch nicht angesehen, genau.
Just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but...
Hey.
Don't you think you might need to actually examine the body? There's no getting around it. Like me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although there are still some times... I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's totally normal. Then how can you...
So...
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind.
Hey.
More importantly, look here. Her shoes?
Correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder's clue number 1.
Hey,
Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully.
it's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain.
It would seem...
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Kyoko's examination summary has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Yeah. Can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Ja. Ja, Monokuma.
Whoops! You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time, but the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. Und hier würde ich sagen, machen wir einen Schnitt. Ich hoffe, ihr habt Spaß, lasst konstruktive Kritik, vielleicht ein Däumchen nach oben da und dann sehen wir uns beim nächsten Mal wieder, wenn es wieder heißt Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Bis dahin, Cheerio!